Hello, thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. And today we are continuing part 2 to the lesson on dilations. So what we want to do is apply the scale factor to the points we already have here, and then make our new shape. So first, what I'm going to do is graph these points. So I'm going to graph 6, 5, 8, 2, and 3, 2 right quick. All right. So 6, 5. Right here. So that's A. And then B would be 8, 2. That's B. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Alright, and now C is 3, 2. Alright, and now I'm going to connect the dots. Alright, so that's the first shape. Alright, now what we want to do is make our new shape where we have X times the scale factor, which is 1/2, and then Y also times 1/2. Alright, so let's figure those numbers out first here. Alright, and really we're just taking half of it. So half of 6 is 3, and half of 5 is 2.5. Okay, half of 8 is 4, and half of 2 is 1. Alright, and half of 3 is 1.5, and half of 2 is 1. So these decimals could be hard to graph, but since they're 0.5, we know it's just half a block. So you go 2.5 and 1.5. And I am going to change colors so we can see the difference. So I'm going to put the letters here: A prime, B prime, and C prime. And we're going to plot these points out. So I'm zooming back over here. And I might go back and forth so I can see it, but I want to be able to get a good look at it. So got 3 and 2.5. About right here. Alright, that's A prime. And then B prime is 4 and 1. Four and 1. And then last 1.5 and 1. About right here. And that's C prime. And then we'll connect the dots and go through that C right quick. And that's our new shape, aka the image. Alright, let's take a look at another one. Alright, here we got a figure. We're going to use the scale factor of 3, which means we're going to multiply it. But first, let's go ahead and graph the original one. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. I've got 0, 0 for A, 3, 0 for B, 3, 2 for C, and 0, 2 for D. Alright, I'm going to connect my dots here. Alright, now I am going to change colors, and I'm going to take the X and multiply it by 3, and take the Y and multiply it by 3. Okay, so see if you can figure out what A prime would be. Alright, you should get 0, 0. Alright, see if you can figure out what B prime would be. You should get 9, 0. Alright, now C prime. You should get 9, 6. And finally, D prime. You should get 0, 6. Alright, now what we got to do is just plot those points. Alright, I'm going to start off with 0, 0. It's going to be right there, and that's A prime. And in B, I go over 9 and go up 0. Way out here. And that's B prime. Alright, next we're going to do C prime, which is over 9 and up 6. C prime. And then finally 0, 6. And that is D prime. And I'm going to connect my dots. Alright, and there you go. That is dilation. So we did a line, we did a triangle, and now we did a quadrilateral. And now I'm going to go over a few more notes here. Alright, so to use a scale factor that's given to us, we multiply to find a scale factor we don't know. We divide the prime point, which is from the image, the second shape, by the original. It doesn't matter which point you choose. Okay, so to find the scale factor on these, what we want to do is tell whether it's an enlargement or a reduction and find the scale factor. Okay, so here you see I got 2, 5, 5, 12.5, negative 1, 3, negative 2.5. You can see the numbers are getting larger to the corresponding coordinate, so you know it's going to be an enlargement. So I'm going to put enlargement right here. which means our scale factor needs to be greater than 1. Well, to get that, all you gotta do is just take one of these numbers here, and I'm gonna take 5 over 2 and just divide it, and you get 2.5. So I took these two numbers and just divided. They're from the corresponding coordinate and the same part. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at this one. So we got u and v going to u prime and v prime, and 2 goes to 1, and 6 goes to 3, and 4 goes to 2. Not only can you tell it is a reduction, you could probably tell what that scale factor is. So I'm going to do 1 and divide it by 2, and I get 1/2, aka 0.5. Now, number 8, it says if the preimage is multiplied by a -2, what transforms? So this is kind of sort of outside the realm of the standards, but technically what happens is if it's negative, not only does it reduce or enlarge, but it also rotates. But again, outside the standard. So, but this worksheet was pretty good for everything else. So that's pretty much it. That is dilation. I want to thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. Have a nice day.